Why in Texas can you buy an AR-15 when you're 18 years old? You can't buy a beer when you're 18 years old. Why do you need to be able to buy an assault rifle?
You know, I think part of the conversation, we have to be unified.
You haven't answered my question, though. Why does an 18-year-old need an AR-15 in the state of Texas?
So this is how the legislative process works, is Congress determines the laws.
I want to go back to my original question. Why does an 18-year-old in Texas need to be able to buy an assault rifle?
The reality is this isn't a new topic. There has been a lot of legislation that's been out there.
That was the Texas Republican Congressman Tony Gonzalez. His district includes Uvalde. And as you just saw, even he can answer why the laws in his state permit an 18-year-old to legally purchase an AR-15 rifle. He can answer that question. Texas prides itself on being America's strongest Second Amendment state. Last May, the state's Republican-controlled legislature passed a law allowing most Texans to carry a handgun in public without a license or a training. They also passed a law blocking state and local agencies from enforcing certain federal gun laws, creating a Second Amendment sanctuary. Those are just two of the 7 expansive gun laws spearheaded by Texas Republicans last year and signed into law by Governor Greg Abbott in just a single day. Well, now, Texas Republicans are being forced to answer how their policy decisions may have contributed to the death of 19 kids and 2 teachers. Joining me now is Texas Democratic State Senator Roland Gutierrez. His district includes Uvalde. Senator, thank you so much for being with us today. You know, I've been hearing you the past couple of days. I can see how upset you are. I can see how sad you are. I can also see the frustration, right? In many ways, your hands are tied, in this state legislature. But do you think this moment has finally served as a wake-up call for your Republican colleagues?
I don't know. I can't answer that. I could tell you I can answer the question that was asked to Tony Gonzalez, and the fact is they're all cowards. You might ask yourself, well, why would you say that of people that you're trying to negotiate with? The fact is we've tried and tried and tried and tried to get common sense gun solutions. Age restrictions, red flag laws, waiting periods. Listen, I'm a Texan, I'm a hunter, I own weapons. I don't have weapons like this, and I don't need to go hunting with an AR-15. Under no circumstances should any child, 18 years old, a child, I don't care what how you define it, should go into a store and buy that kind of weaponry, those militarized weapons, like you can in Texas. It's disgusting. It's appalling. And Greg Abbott and people like him have refused to do the right thing.
Senator, I think you mentioned something that is a lived reality for many people, right? You yourself like to go hunting. Many people in Texas, this is part of their culture. And I think that's the debate. Can you have those realities? Can you be pro-gun and also want gun control? So how are you going to balance those two sides of the story with constituents?
I have a lot of Republican constituents. I'm a Democrat. I have a lot of Republican constituents to come to me and tell me, Roland, where were you? How did these kids getting these weapons? Why do we need these magazines that have 100, 200 rounds in them? I don't need 100 rounds to kill a deer. I have people that tell me, why didn't we find out about this? Well, we don't have a red flag law. Isn't it a red flag when a young man goes and buys 2 guns in 48 hours that you would use in Afghanistan? Certainly it's a red flag. Isn't it a red flag when he buys, hundreds of rounds of ammunition? And the guy over at the local store there in Uvalde doesn't even think twice about it. And he doesn't have to call the authorities because we don't have a law in place that says, hey, guy, you need to call the authorities. We've tried, but Greg Abbott, there's your answer. Tony Gonzalez, if he wants to go off and call for an assault weapons ban, he can. He should.
So what is it that's stopping a lot of your Republican colleagues? Because they're living in the same state and the same grounds with many of the same constituents that you are, right? And the reality is what the numbers say is that nearly 60% of Texas voters opposed permitless carry. And also that 20% of voters there wanted to loosen gun laws. So with these numbers, with this reality that you're living every day, what is stopping Republican colleagues from actually making laws that reflect what the majority of constituents want?
They're not listening to their constituents. They're listening to the organization called the NRA. And that's the reality. And they're taking their money. because money means power and money means you can win elections and stay elected. And that's all they care about. Instead, they should care about their constituents. My staff showed me a video of last session's House Bill 1927. In the wee hours of the morning, I was tired. I was exhausted from arguing with these people. And I said, because of this bill, I promise you, kids will die. I never thought in the world that I was talking about kids in my own community. Never thought. I thought it was hyperbole. It wasn't. These people don't have the fortitude to do the right thing. Greg Abbott likes to talk about evil and mental illness. Well, let's face it, he doesn't fund mental illness. And the only evil that's happening here is the evil that has him bought and paid for by the NRA.
Well, Senator, thank you so much for taking the time. I know that you've been talking to people all day and that the community needs you right now. So we really appreciate you making the time for this.
Thank you. We'll be headed back out right now.
Hi, I'm Zerlina Maxwell. Thanks for checking out our channel on YouTube. You can see more from Zerlina by clicking any of the videos on this screen, and make sure you subscribe below to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. Thanks for watching.